So here we go, UK property market, what's going on? Look, for people who are going to position themselves right now, there's a huge opportunity. Why? Wednesday, today, the budget is out. I'm actually making this before the budget, and so by the time you're watching this, things would have been said. However, look, the things which are coming, the Help to Buy scheme, which are going to basically allow first-time buyers to buy at 95% loan to value. If you look at the last time they did this, house prices at that end, the first-time buyers, increased by 1.4%. So it's really good because they're trying to get the market going. The trouble is that because of furlough, because of the corona and Brexit and the reduction in jobs, the younger people, the professionals, many of them have lost their jobs or they've taken a cutback in their salaries. Even with the scheme, there is going to be the affordability. So people are only going to get mortgages if they've got enough income and that length of working to qualify to get the mortgage. 95%, that does mean that someone only has to come up with 5%, which is great. 100,000, there you go. 5%, £5,000, potentially. There's no stamp duty on it anyway, so that's great. And I think they're talking about putting the Help to Buy right up to a value of £600,000. That's incredible. And remember, if you're a first-time buyer, £600,000, you're only going to pay stamp duty on £100,000. You'll get $15,000 off, because I fully expect he's going to extend the stamp duty until at least September or to the end of the year. The thing is, for investors, and this is the important thing, if you get this right, and it's about pitching it right, where you can find a community or a city where there is high unemployment. It may be factories which are still working in this time. Think high unemployment where there is a demand for first-time buyers. They want that. If you now start getting properties fairly cheap, bad condition, do them up, you can sell them, you can have 2 exits. And when I do property, I only ever do property with 2 exits. So I won't buy or build properties which you can only sell. As long as you can rent and get a mortgage on it, the affordability part, then that's the way to go. By going into high-end properties and you can't flip back out to mortgage, that's silly. Don't do that, in my advice. Not at this time. We will see it, but that's going to be 3, 4, 5 years away, when that's when I'll probably start to build the luxury houses, when things have recovered, and away we go. And my son will be probably taking over a lot of that stuff anyway. I'll be off playing golf around the world. However, look, if you're savvy and you now start to create properties and targeted to first-time buyers, the help to buy scheme, and I don't know if you could be creative, if it was possible that you could give them 50% of the 5% deposit and £100,000, or even give them all. I don't know if that would qualify. You'd have to let the solicitors talk. It might be criteria of the Help to Buy that the purchaser has to have cash money in order to do it. I don't know. But let's suppose if you bought a property at, I don't know, 70,000, you spent 15 on it, 85, you got some legals and stuff, but now it's worth 120. You could afford maybe to give them £6,000 off that, just to move it out the door quick, and then they don't actually need any money. That would be great. So think about it. It's not really where I work at that for that, but that is certainly something that would be attractive to first-time buyers. And guess what? If it's not there for a first-time buyer, with that sort of value, you can remortgage and rent it out. And if you get those numbers, like I've just said, you're pretty much going to pull all your money back out. So look, guys, it was a short one. What I'm really pleased, which I'm reading about what's coming up in the budget, it looks like they're going to put £100 million in to attack fraudsters. So with the furlough and other benefits, and even with the first-time buyers, there's going to be people who abuse this, and that's not fair. And do you know what? It just spoils it for everyone else, because then the government will stop it or to make it more expensive, etc. So I'm pleased to see that the government are looking at doing something about the fraudsters, to get hold of them, punish them, get rid of them, and let's get to the people who really, really need our help and the government's help. Lastly on this, rents. UK rents. What's going to happen with UK rents? Well, I'm sorry, they're going to go one way, and that is up. Why? Because the demand is going to be bigger, and where the demand is strong, the market goes up. So this is an unfortunate thing for those who rent, but the main point, it is because we're going back into a renting society. That's where we're heading. Plus, the government over the last 5 years has made it harder and harder and harder for landlords. Let's just take one thing which they brought out about just over a year and a bit ago now, but that is the no fees for tenants. So when I have tenants come and see, and do an application, and I have to do a tenant check. Now I buy those checks in bulk, so that it checks, and there's 3 different levels that you can check on the tenants, but we go for the top one, and I think that comes in, I can't remember, it's about £25, and we get a little bit of a discount. But imagine I have people coming. It takes a little bit of time to not just to gather all the information in, so there's quite an admin bit to get all the information in, then you've got to fill forms out, and you've got to pay people to do that, and then it will spit back, and if it spits out no, that's another 25 quid gone, and then I've got to do it again and got to do it again. So when they said no more fees you can charge, and these are real fees, I can tell you why. It's some big agencies down in London that were charging 1,500 quid. They were being really stupid. What the government, I believe, in my opinion, should have done is capped it and said, look, no more than 75 quid, something like that, because you've got to do checks. You've got to go there and show them the thing, and the keys and all of this. You can't put a fee down for anything. So unfortunately, as landlords, and more people are going to be coming in and out now, the landlords are going to say, well, look, and every time I get a tenant, it probably costs us, somewhere £100. If you're taking the admin and the failed tenancy agreements, etc., £100 a tenant. Well, and if they stay a year, okay, that's watered down. But if I only take 6 months, it's £100 every 6 months. And don't forget, if I've had some failed ones in there, it's even going to be more. So what tenants are doing, what landlords are doing, are putting the money on the rent. They're going to have to increase it. So the rents are going up. They just are. They will continue to go up to cover the costs that landlords have, that the government forced us to have. And it is a shame, but it is the only way that rents are going to go. Now, going through this virus, I did see that the lack of demand and rents would fall. Even heard that agency that I know were giving free rent for 2 months in properties. But those days are going to come to an end outside of when things are starting to get back to normal, and rents will go up. So you will have, council paying rents for people, but there will be top-ups as well. Watch your space. Remember, if you've got a non-paying tenant, although the non-eviction clause is still in place, that doesn't apply to people tenants who owe you a high amount of rent, excessive rent arrears. You can have them evicted. The government left that bit out, so you can do it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Just a little bit of information about what's going on. The 5% deposit, I think, is really, really exciting. It is another thing the government are doing to try and kickstart the market, the UK market, to keep it going, because as much as I'm buying and developing and everything, you need the ones at the bottom to come in, and so the machine works. If the young people, the people first-time buyers, aren't coming into the market, it stalls. So let's get active. Let's try and make properties that we can sell. I tend not to sell. Will I look at some of these that I might be able to do? Absolutely, because if we can help people get in the market, give them a really nice place, they're not looking for a discount, especially with 5%, and many of them, as I said, will be paying a little bit of a premium, which the lenders are happy with, the valuers will be happy with, because they're taking on this premium. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, subscribe and share my video. Have a great day, and let's see what's going on in the budget. God bless you. Bye bye.